are now tuning into a new episode of the Hoodie and the Headband podcast show. As always, I'm your co-host, Bryce Warner.
I'm Tariq.
Tariq, short week, short turnaround. How you doing?
Yeah, when do we record? Today's Thursday. We recorded Monday.
We got put out an episode with Tuesday.
Yeah.
We back on Thursday.
Ain't nothing changed, but y'all know what day it is. Y'all know what day it is.
Yes, it is Thursday.
So it's a great day. I'm doing great. Great
Yes,
game for last night.
Yes, sir.
Talk about. How about you, my boy?
I'm good. I'm great, man. Good morning to the world, man. I'm lit, man. I'm good. We'll get to that in a second, but it's a good day so far. It's a great day so far. So let's get into it, man. First and foremost, we want to congratulate. Whoa. First and foremost, we want to congratulate the Las Vegas Aces for winning the 2023 WNBA championships. Round of applause to them. Oh, man. And what a way they did it, man. I mean, they swept their way to the finals and they won in the way they won is crazy, bro. Like, they won the game. What was it? 69-70?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the final score. Crazy. But they won without Chelsea Gray, without Kia Stokes, calling on two players who hasn't really started much, calling on a player who played 18 minutes in this playoffs leading up to this moment.
Hey, it did what it is.
Did what was needed. I mean, man, oh man. Man, shout out to Liberty though. Shout out to Liberty. I definitely would shout out to the Liberty. They, put together a great squad in the offseason. And I know we did say it was gonna take them a while to click, but once they clicked, it was it's a wrap. I'm gonna say they cruised their way. They had a pretty tough, whatchamacallit. They had a pretty tough journey to the finals. I mean, they won all but one game.
Yeah.
They swept the Mystics, went forward with the Sun, and then they had to face the Aces, which I mean, they're similar caliber as the Aces in terms of like team. Like they do have a great team as well. You got John Carter Jones, Brandon Stewart, former MVPs. You got Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot, who are all-stars, Benaj Laney, who's an all-star, and you got a coach in Sandy Brondello, who's coached championship squads. You got Marie Johannes, Kayla Thornton, who's been big off the bench, Steph Dolson, who's been great off the bench as well at times.
Former champion. Yeah,
former champion as well, yes. And yeah, I mean, you got a great squad all around. And they made themselves known this year. Sabrina had a great year, woke a lot of people up, shot a lot of the haters up for sure. And this was no easy matchup for the Aces. I mean, they did win the Commissioner's Cup against the Aces earlier this year. And yeah, I mean, all in all, man, this was just a battle all the way through for both squads. Both squads had their share of challenges before getting to this moment. But yeah, so shout out to Liberty, man. I mean, they had a historic season as well. MVP Brandon Stewart had a hell of a season. Breaking the records that she broke, whether those are franchise records or W records. Names is getting etched in the record book more and more, and her becoming the great player that she's becoming and the legacy that she's building in her career, that just can't go unnoticed. So shout out to the Liberty on the season that they had. Complete 180 turnaround from previous seasons. First time they were in the finals in 20 plus years. Yeah, man.
Yeah, for me, obviously, give credit where credit is due to both sides. This was 100%. This is the finals matchup that everybody wanted to see. Wish we could have seen it fully healthy with Chelsea, Kia, who we didn't even know was hurt until yesterday morning.
Yeah, we didn't know.
So and then obviously Candace, and from from what we could tell, the Liberty were fully healthy. The only player they didn't have that they started the season with was Hanzu, and they weren't playing her anyway. But shout out to both teams. Both had some very historic seasons, brought a lot of eyes to the game. Both brought insane crowds to their arenas. Both proved that if this is the way you go in the WNBA, you're gonna get to at least to the finals. If you put the proper money and revenue and support into your team as an owner, this is what you can get on the backside of. Mark Davis said, he's like, this comes down to 3 women. Like, it came down to the president, Nikki Fargas, the GM, I think it's Nikki Williams or Vicky Williams. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I apologize. And then obviously Becky Hammond. Yeah. And obviously the players as well. But those are the 3 people that, build the team and all that. And he trusts them to, make all the moves because he's not involved. He puts the money there, and he shows his support, he shows up to games and stuff like that. But obviously they brought in Tom Brady, so that, adds another element to it. And then obviously for the Liberty Joe side, he was throwing his money around last year, doing private jets, brought out Breanna Stewart for a visit, even though she didn't sign, but we knew she was signing this year. So she ends up signing because of that. You bring in Vanderstoot, you bring in John Cole Jones, and you bring in all these players, and you bring in all this expectations and anticipation into the Barclays, and the whole season the crowd was there for both sides. Vegas has had a really good crowd since they moved to Vegas, even when they were struggling to get wins early in their tenure in Vegas, and New York since they moved to Barclays. And Serena and Betnaja really, became the focal points of the franchise. Fans have come out and supported. So it's been great to see the fan support on both sides. It's been great to see, the players be rewarded and the owners be rewarded for, wanting to support their players and give them the proper resources that they need. Now, I'm typically not the Asia pusher on this episode or on this show, but I'm about to, because I know my boy is going to get to it later, but there's things I want to get off my chest.
Go ahead. Floor is yours.
I've always appreciated Asia. I've always appreciated her game. But more than her skill, I appreciate her relentlessness, her perseverance, her passion, her determination, her drive, her work ethic. Those are all unmatched when it comes to the WNBA. There is not a player in the WNBA, not one single player, not even Candace, and that is my favorite player. Right now, there is not anyone that can match her on that. And you could tell when she won, the emotions were high as soon as the buzzer rang. She knew that people were trying to put her in a box. And she's like, nah, I am the box. I am her. I'm it. I'm the face of this league. Bryce has been saying it. She needs a shoe. Not just a shoe, a signature Asia Wilson shoe. And if Nike don't do it, Reebok, buy her out. Shaq and AI. I'm so serious. Buy her out, get her shoe. Because the fact that she's been sitting on that roster for this amount of time and don't got her own shoe is ridiculous. She's a 2-time champion now, back-to-back. First time in 21 years, since the 01-02 Sparks. 2 MVPs, should have 3. 2 DPOYs, back-to-back, might I add. Should have had a back-to-back MVP as well. So you mean to tell me that woman who just won a finals MVP put her team on her back in game 4 with 3 starters down, really, put the team on her back against 5, well, at least 3 future Hall of Famers, possibly 2 more. At the very least, an all WNBA player and an all-star. And one of the best French players in the world. She's the best player in her country. So it's not just, they played, an all-star and some other players. No. They didn't go through the sun like they did last year. No offense to the Sun, but that was 3 all-stars, This year is different. All 5 of that starting lineup has been a starter or has been an all-star before, if not an all-star this year. 4 of them have been all WNBA. Only 1 hasn't. For her to come into the third quarter, and then get 9 straight points, lead her team on an 18-5 run to end the third quarter, and then go into the fourth and hit that fadeaway jumper with what, 124, 126?
It was 124.
That jumper is going to be seen forever. That is a historic shot. That is a shot that all-time greats take and make. We seen the other player that they say is on her level, take those shots and miss those shots all game. And that's with all due respect. To me, and it should be to everyone, A'ja Wilson is undoubtedly the best player in the world. I don't want to hear 1A, 1B. There's no 1A, 1B. She can be 2. That's fine. She's not 1B. We just saw the 1. Stewie is not in that conversation for best player. She just went 3 for 17 in a game 4. 3 for 17. And this is not her first bad game of the playoffs. She's played bad throughout. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. Since she got that MVP, she has struggled. And even leading up to that, she struggled. She had a great regular season, 100%. And I'm a person that says it is not a playoff or a finals reward or award. But when you try to put the award in a legacy talk, then it becomes playoff and finals, especially when those 2 players are going to meet up. And y'all knew they were going to meet up. You wanted them to have this 2-2. It should have been 3-1. It should have been 3-1. If it wasn't going to Alyssa Thomas, it should have gone to A'ja Wilson. There's no way you watch that regular season. Best efficiency in offense, best efficiency in defense. Best defensive player in the league. And by efficiency, the best offensive player in the league. So where do you see that? Oh, Breanna Stewart was better this year. Where? How? Because she hit more threes? She had more points? Barely. And like Becky said, if she played her in fourth quarters, she would have averaged 28. Because who can stop A'ja Wilson? Nobody.
Nobody.
They put Jonquel on her. Cooked. Stewie. Cooked. Betnijah. Cooked. It didn't matter. Dolson. Cooked. I mean, from the 3-point line, off the dribble, spin move, late. Like, what? What y'all was thinking? Kayla Thornton. Cooked. Like, it didn't matter what they did. It didn't matter who they threw, how many they threw. She was going to get hers. Like she said, game 3, she wasn't her. Game 1, 2, and 4, she was. I didn't see a game where Stewie was the best player on the court this series. Not one. Jonquel was the best player in game 3 on both sides, on both teams. I didn't see one game where it looked like, oh, okay, Stewie here. I didn't see it. Game 1, A'ja, Jackie, Chelsea, Kelsey went crazy. But I mean, she didn't go 3 for 17, but she did not have games where it was like, oh, we getting this duel that, like I said before the series, I want to see A'ja versus Stewie. Like this is the time that we need to get A'ja versus Stewie. We've seen it before. But this is the first time we've seen them in their prime going against each other. And what happened? A'ja gave her that work. It's just a fact. A'ja gave her that work. I want to shout out Jackie and KP as well. Because they have proved their worth yet again, but in a bigger way than they ever have.
Yes.
Because, yes, Kelsey Plum shot 2 for 12 in this game, but that in the fourth quarter, I don't remember how much time was left, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. She forced the switch and forced her way to the rim, got fouled, got 2 free throws. Those 2 free throws were huge. I'm pretty sure they either tied the game or gave them a 2-point lead. Jackie Young did the same thing a couple possessions later. They made plays when they needed to. And that's something that the Liberty did not do. There were players in the fourth quarter that when it was time to step up, they disappeared. And you can say what you want. There was one player that did not disappear in the fourth quarter for the New York Liberty, and she wears number 20. You can say what you want. She hit a big 3, hit a big mid-range off the dribble.
Made it a 1-point game.
And somebody asked, in the post game, why didn't you go to Sabrina? I think it's a fair question. I was like, okay, you go to your best player. When they're 3 for 17, do you still go to your best player with Asia Wilson on them? I don't think you do. Or with Alicia Clark on them? I don't think you do.
Alicia Clark had her in Rikers.
Locked her up.
Rikers.
She even said, I know what she wants to do. I just made sure she didn't get to where she wanted to go.
Listen, I think that came from being her former teammate, bro.
Yeah,
seeing her practice every day for amount of years.
Yeah,
that's like me guarding you, bro. Like,
100%.
Yeah,
like we know what the other like when you are on the team with somebody for as long as Alicia Clark and Brianna Stewart were.
Yeah,
and even Natasha Howard or Jewel Lloyd, Sue Bird, like they know what they want to do. Sue Bird can watch from the sideline and know, hey, Stewie want to go left here and try to get a pull-up jumper. Alicia Clark knew that shit. Like, she went left, Clark was there. And then they drew. Jackie came in for the help. She threw it out to Betnaja. Betnaja threw it to Courtney. Once she threw it to Courtney, the game was over. And I'm not even gonna say no disrespect because it was over. I mean, y'all saw the shot. Was it even a shot? Was it a pass? What was it?
I'm laughing because I just know how hard you get on Courtney, bro.
Hey man, because I had questions of whether or not she was the best point guard of all time after the 2021 run. She came back in 2022. We needed buckets, and she threw the ball off the glass like Giannis was out there.
She threw a lob to Stewie yesterday, bro.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
She threw a lob to Stewie last night, man. I said, what?
What are we doing? Now, there's a lot that's gone on this season. And for players like Alicia Clark, who lost her father before the season,
God bless.
Sydney Colson, who, people look at as like a class clown, not really a roster spot. Like she shouldn't have a roster spot. There was people talking about they should have cut her. You know who was a plus 17 last night in 8 minutes?
Sid and Colson.
Kayla George. She took some crazy looking shots.
Hey, I love it. She shot.
She made plays. I'm 100% sure they told her, shoot the ball. If you get the ball and you got space, shoot the ball. She did. Yeah. Now some of them was off, but she doesn't have a rhythm.
She made two in that fourth quarter, I think. Or was it the second? Or was it third quarter? It was like even the third. It was like sometime in the second half. I think it was the third quarter.
Made one early in the game.
She made two back-to-back threes.
Oh, that was probably third.
I think that was third quarter. She made two back-to-back threes, and that's why I texted you on the group chat. I was like,
because then Alicia Clark got two layups.
Yeah.
Layup, and then she got the right-handed layup right before the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
But Liberty, I don't think they were ready for this moment. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were. I don't think Sabrina was ready for the moment early in this series. I don't think Stewie was ready for this moment at all. She never seemed ready for this moment. Jonquel was ready, but then she only had 6 points this game and shot 3 for 8. You only shot 8 shots. She shot the least amount of shots out of the starters. Maureen Johannes only played 7 minutes this game, which I found interesting. I guess because Sloop played well in the first quarter or first half.
Yeah, she had 14 in that first half.
Second half, Sloop scored 5 points. So Maureen could have came in and gave you something.
Yeah.
But Naja Laney, she did her job, but they needed a little bit more. But you can only ask of her for so much. She's the fourth option probably in terms of finding shots and finding opportunities, even though they did choose to leave her open on the 3-point line. So you gotta make them pay if you bet Naja Laney. She is not a player that
you can just keep open like that, bro.
Like
Naja's tough.
2 seasons ago, if not last season, she was the number 1 option.
Yeah.
And now
she's Kayla George. Crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know, man.
Beat Kayla George off the dribble so bad. I was like, damn.
Oh my God. That transition, I said, you better go score. And she hit her with that. I was like, oh my God.
I said.
Easy. But before I hand it over to the man I know y'all want to hear from, I just want to say there's a lot that happened with the Aces this year, a lot that we don't know, so I'm not going to speculate. But I will say There were points in this game where I did not think the Aces were going to win. It did not look good for a little bit. It looked like some of the players on the court just were pressing. They didn't know when it was their time. And you could tell that they were a little nervous to start. And, this might be a little TMI, but Asia did say during the post-game conference that, they all had the BGs because they were all nervous about the game. Now, do I know how long, their nervousness went on for? I don't know. But it is a fair feeling to have when you lose somebody like Chelsea Gray. And I also want to shout her out because they don't get to this point without her.
No.
They won this game without her, but they don't get to this point without Chelsea Gray. It's why they went.
Even then, they didn't even win this game without her. She was very involved on the bench. Oh, 100%. As was Candace. Like, those are 100%. Two. They acted as two more assistant coaches. Like, they can put on their resume they won a championship as a coach.
That's a fact. And
Candace got two as a player, one as an assistant coach.
Candace said after the last game, y'all read her lips. She said, "We'll be all right. We'll be okay. We're okay." And everybody was like, "I don't know." Everybody was, skeptical. And as the Aces knew, the players knew. If you watch that post-game conference, the players knew. They came in and they was like, all y'all said Liberty in 5 or Liberty in 4. And I think there was like one or two.
Yo, Asia bookmarked the tweet from August whenever the Liberty beat the Aces in Barclays the last time. And somebody's like, hold that L. And Asia went back, found the tweet. Well, she bookmarked it, but she's like, yeah, we keep the receipts. We got this in the
she was talking
whatever. And I was like, yeah, she was popping her ish.
But right before I hand it over, I'm gonna say the chemistry, the love that this team has shown the last 2, 3, 4 seasons has been fascinating, and it has been beautiful to watch because every year, even the year that they lost to Phoenix, this team has been the most fun team to watch off the court. And you could tell camaraderie is there. You could tell that they are not just, we're around each other for these 3 or 4 months of the WNBA season and then we don't talk until the season starts. You could tell that there are some teams that do that. There are some players on teams that don't communicate at all, and it's clear. Now, the New York Liberty were built to stop this team, but you can't build a team overnight to beat a team with this kind of chemistry.
Bro, like Kelsey said, you're going to build a super team in a couple months.
That's a fact, though. It's a fact because they didn't build a super team. They drafted.
Yeah.
They started with Kelsey, then Asia, then Jackie. They all took leaps. And then Chelsea came in. And then Alicia Clark came in this year. Every year, they've brought someone else in to bring something different to the table. And they've ended up with 2 championships at the end of 2023. And my last thing before I pass it over. Asia is the face. She is the woman. She is the it girl, as they would like to say.
The one, the two.
She needs her own shoe, and she should have 3 MVPs.
Nike, I will take a trip to Oregon if I need to. I'll take a trip to Beaverton, Oregon, if need be. I'll scrounge up my change, take take a flight over there. I will talk to Phil Knight myself if I need to. Then I don't really need to. Because even LeBron said it. Mr. Nike said it, all right? He said 6 shoe coming. Mr. Nike said it. I have no doubt. Listen, I have nothing else to say. If LeBron said it, I ain't got nothing to say because he putting the pressure on Nike now. All right. All in all, look, congrats to the Aces. What do I want to say? Because you said a lot, and you said a lot that I want to touch on, so I'm not going to repeat any points, really. But I really just want to say, man, yeah, a lot of people counted them out, and it's I don't know. I have no doubt that they would have gotten it done. I'm like, all right, they could still get it done. They still have the pieces to get it done. They still have 3 all-stars on that team that can get it done. They got a hell of a coach in Becky Hammond that can do something. I know Becky ain't going. I knew they wasn't going back down. They still had a game to play. And even if they lost game 4, they still got game 5 at the crib. And either way, they weren't going to give up. Asia had too much of a chip on her shoulder for them not to give up. the amount of disrespect that she's been giving this season, it's ridiculous. It's insane. It's egregious. Asinine. I don't even know if I'm using that right. But like, it's just stupid how people disrespect the A'ja Wilson all season, bro. How people like this is just one thing, bro. I don't know why people make their damn bias, their favoritism, get in the way of talking about somebody the right way. You think I let my bias get in the way of me talking about Sabrina Ionescu and the great season she's had? No. About anybody on the Liberty? No. I've been objective. I mean, I know it's my job to, but like same time, y'all can do it too. Fans of other teams have been able to talk about these players the way they should be talked about. But who in the hell voted A'ja fourth? And what did you watch this season? How are you a media member and think to vote A'ja Wilson fourth for MVP votes? I can't understand second or third, but fourth? For real. You're being stupid right now. Like, what school did you go to? What are your credentials? What in your right mind makes you able to vote for MVP after that? Like, it don't even matter at this point. She finals MVP, bro. She finals MVP. But shout out to Alicia Clark for pressing the press and asking the questions that need answering. It's real journalism right there. She got a future in this business. What else do I want to say? Shout out to like we mentioned, Kayla George. I mean, I don't know. She shot it. I love the confidence she shot with, because she shot every shot like it was going in. You gotta listen. You gotta have that in a game like this, man. You can't back down. And we see how it was whenever they was timid. When they were timid, game 3 didn't work out. We shooting game 4. We making sure we win something.
What A'ja said last year?
You get paid to shoot.
Shoot it.
Shoot it. Oh man. All in all, I'm happy for the Aces. I'm happy that they're able to repeat, make history as champions, man. Shout out to Becky Hammond and the amazing job she's done as coach. Shout out to the Aces staff. Shout out to the Liberty and their staff and what they've been able to do too. Like, dang, I'm about to repeat a point. But like Tariq mentioned, this is what happens when you pour into the game. All right. This is what happens when you do the work and you're serious about building something. You get a finals like this where the two teams that have put the most into their teams, all right, to the top. In terms of A'ja, man, I feel like after this performance, after this game, as Tariq has mentioned, she's not the 2. It's clear as day now, bro. I mean, she got 2 chips. Stewie got 2 chips. I mean, they're 1-1 in finals appearances and finals matchups. But same time after this matchup, bro,
different.
3 for 17.
And she beat her last year too.
Yeah, yeah. In the playoffs, yes. But 3 for 17 is insane for MVP, bro. At any level. Any level. You go 3 for 17 in a closeout game. Nasty work.
At home.
You can't. I can't say that you are. I don't know.
The best. You can't.
I can't say that Breanna Stewart is better than A'ja after this, man. I can't because they played against each other and we see what happened. A'ja had 24 and 16. Breanna Stewart shot 3 for 17.
Had less points than
Kayla George. Kayla George had 11 points. Stewie had 10. Someone who has to start the whole playoffs, majority of the season, starting in game 4 and scoring more points than you?
4th leading scorer in her own starting lineup.
Man. And shout out to Sabrina. She hit some shots. Like we mentioned last week about whenever players make shots, that gravity. Ooh. Sabrina hit 3 threes. All 3 of them threes hurt. Not hurt, but hey, you felt them.
You could feel the crowd.
Every time she made a 3, Barclays roared. She made 3 threes. Every one of them 3 she made, Barclays roared.
You can feel the energy,
bro.
You can feel the change.
Listen, man. All in all, the great finals, great output. A'ja the 1, not the 2. I think after this puts her in top 5 all time. Like at 27. Listen, at 27.
top 10, but I'm bad at top 5.
27 at 27 years old, rookie of the year, multiple time All-Star, doggone 2-time champ, Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year, Olympian, Olympic gold medalist, I should say, not just Olympic gold medalist. So she's a world champion. Trevor Lyles, Noah Lyles. She's a champion. She's a world champion.
That's a resume.
That's a resume at 27.
I was about to say that's a resume for somebody done. She's not done.
She's not done. She's just starting, bro. Like, she's not slowing down on top. She's just entering her prime. Are you kidding me? 27. It's getting scary for the league.
She do all this and she don't even play no season.
Bro. She be chilling. She be chilling. She might pop out to the lake again maybe now. She be chilling.
You imagine what she would be doing overseas?
Forget about it. Listen, man, Asia's already a Hall of Famer. If she were to retire tomorrow, she'd be a Hall of Famer, first ballot. Listen, I say she's top 5. Some people got a top 3. I would have to do research and do the talking, and that's a different discussion. But as of right now, Asia is top 5. Top 2. She's top 2 in the league, and she's not 2. She's numero uno. And yeah, man, shout out to the Aces, man. Shout out to the Aces. Shout out to the Liberty. Shout out to the W. This has been a hell of a season. What a wonderful way to end a wonderful season. Yeah. So yeah,
probably my favorite season covering. Just because the eyeballs, the production, my personal favorite players, having their best seasons. One of my favorite players that I've ever watched coming into the league.
Yep.
Just so many different variables, and it's only going to get better from here.
It's only getting better, bro.
It don't matter. It don't matter how many come in 2024, 2025. At some point, they all gonna be in there.
Yeah.
It's only gonna get better.
It's only gonna get better. We get more teams, get more players, get more charities coming in. Like,
better travel.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, man. I can't listen, bro. After this season, people gonna have no choice but to pour into this damn league. All right.
Yep.
Bring your wallets out. All right. Pour into this league because it's going places, man. Like, what happens this season is going to be like, how they say Magic and Bird saved the NBA. Safe to say, Agent and Stewie about to save the W. Like, if they keep matching up like this, or if we keep having, I don't know, it's not even just gonna be just them. It's just gonna be.
But it's also
great players.
They're bringing in the Mike. I'm not saying that they're anybody's gonna be Michael Jordan, but they're bringing in the Michael Jordans, the Charles Barkleys, the I'm not gonna say his name because we don't speak on him, but the players that came in after Magic and Larry.
Yeah,
that continue to push
the Hakeems,
exactly
LeBrons, the
Robinsons, Tim Duncans, all the players that came in after
all those players,
to push the game forward. That's the Pages, the Caitlins, the Angels, the Rakia Jackson.
This league is only 27 years old, man.
Only,
and it's ahead of time what the NBA is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know timeline and stuff is different, but yeah, all in all, though, man, I can't wait for next season. I know this college season gonna be electric. And it's gonna be good to see those young players get into the league and make differences for their teams. And all in all, though, man, the way the route, just the trajectory that women's basketball is going in is going well. Like, safe to say, whenever little girls that are watching the game now, they're gonna have more of a space because of what's going on today. They're seeing what's being broadcasted. We had the most viewership this year. How many little girls seeing that and they're like, all right, cool, I want to play in this league in 10, 15 years. They don't have a chance to play in this league in 10, 15 years. Why? Because they're going to be 10, 15 more teams probably. All in all, man, this has been a great year. Good year for basketball. Good year for the Aces. Good year for the Liberty. Good year for the W. Good year all around. And just happy to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. So I'm glad we keep rolling the game. I'm just glad that we had another season. Cheers to us. Cheers to everybody involved, bro. Like, all around, people starting conversations, people engaging in conversations, people keeping this whole thing going and making sure history is told the right way, making sure this league is covered the right way. And yeah.
100%.
For sure. But I ain't got nothing else to say.
I got a message to parents. I don't know if y'all watching this or if y'all gonna hear this, but if you got daughters that are in elementary school, middle school, keep letting your kids play. Don't let them quit. Don't let the girls. I'm mostly talking about girl dads, girl moms. Do not let your kids quit. Don't let them take a day off just because they don't feel like going that day. If it was a boy, you would make them go. If it was a boy, you would keep them in the game.
Within reason. Like, don't be
I'm not saying
hard pressed.
No, I'm not saying force them. I'm just saying because when kids are growing up and a boy is in a sport, they're less likely to let them take a day off.
Mm-hmm.
A lot less likely.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about when you have practices or I have practices. If you're like, I ain't trying to go today, your dad making you go. Your dad not gonna be like,
I was a gamer, bro. I love practice.
No, I'm just saying if you had. I know you
if I had.
But I know there are kids.
Only time I probably miss practice if I was sick.
Yeah. But I have kids like I've been working with kids that I can see like, oh, they do enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times like if they stop doing it, they're not gonna want to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's different for us. We had a real passion for it.
Like I said, bro,
there are kids that can find the passion.
Like it was a game.
Yeah, there are kids that can find the passion for it. You just gotta let them get to that point, and you allowing them to quit or to stop just because of a day of you doing this or that. That's when it becomes, that's why the commercial with a stat where 70% of
they run all the time about girls quitting.
Yeah. That stop playing at 12, 13 years old because they either don't see a future in it or they felt like they didn't need to keep playing or they shouldn't have to keep playing. Like push your kids, push the girls to keep going because there are people that will support them. Not just their parents. There are fans that will support them. People like us that are going to support them. I'm going to support. Anytime I see a high school player get a commitment or get a visit, I'm retweeting it. I don't know who's going to see it, but I know somebody is. And I know somebody's going to see that name and be like, oh, let me, I'll see that name one day. That's why I retweet. Because there are a lot of players out here. And there are a lot of kids out here that, aren't quite getting that recognition or don't think they'll ever get that recognition or that shine or that praise or that acknowledgement. And that's why people like us are here. People like me are here is to give these kids and to give these women and of course the men as well, the praise and the acknowledgement that they deserve. So that's all I had to say about that. Other than that, I ain't got nothing else.
All right, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Hoodie and Headband podcast show. Boy Bryce, as always.
Appreciate y'all.
And just stay tuned because we got a lot more coming as far as NBA and college basketball season approaches.
We not going nowhere.